Welcome, folks. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Desk. Joining me here in the studio as usual is my co-host, Paul on the Ball, and we have some exciting folks in the studio with us this evening. Paul.
We certainly do. And good evening, Carl. Great to be here with you as always.
Of course, you know the talk is that we're the hottest show on TV. So
I'm glad to hear that.
You know you have to big up your fans. Right?
Yes, our ratings are
For all
up.
those ladies who have been watching Paul for a long time, he just says good evening.
Yeah.
Good evening to his madam, Mrs. Hewlett.
And all the guys who've been watching Carl. All the sports fans. All the sports.
Come on, get it right.
The sports fans.
Good.
The sports fans.
Good.
Right. Anyway, we're not going to talk about you tonight, Carl. We're going to talk about. It is the 40th anniversary of the Bvifa Football Association, and they have a whole month of events which are presently on the go. And we are very happy tonight to have Mrs. I was going to say Mrs. Andy Bickerton, but Mrs. Arlene Bickerton. Of course, she said Arlette Bickerton, who is not only extremely involved with youth soccer, but is also the PRO on the 40th anniversary committee. Along with her is no stranger to football, who is a past president of the Bvifa Football Association, also a very active member for the 40th anniversary committee, Mr. Kenrick Grant. Good evening to both of you.
Good evening, Paul. Good evening.
Great to have you here. Well, listen, it's been a pretty exciting first week. Tell us first of all some of the things that's gone on for the folks that they know what's happening in football, and then what's next.
Well, good evening to the viewing audience and our listening audience. Well, tonight we're here just to talk a little bit about the past, the future, and what is expected for football coming this year and forward. We actually started this anniversary with a church service on Sunday where most of the members went to church. So that was a good start. We also have this week coming, we have our under 15 girls that have just participated in a tournament in Cayman Island. We'll have them playing a youth team out of the USVI. We also have our ladies also playing a practice match on Sunday, a team out of the USVI as well. And our under 14 youth team is also playing on Saturday as well. So we do have activities this weekend and every weekend for the month of September. So, you know, we'd really like the community to come out and support us. We have our young people that are very, very involved. And we think, you know, the support we've been getting, it would be important for them to come out and see how much we have in store for them.
Excellent. So a lot of things happening there, Carl. It sounds like a pretty exciting football association, certainly on top of their game.
Well, I want to say, well, from last week, when we had an interview with Mr. Liebert, he mentioned about the clinic for referees. I was out there all day yesterday, and then when I saw one of the guys, they told me that the clinic was held in the office before it was out on the track. So I was out on the track waiting, and I didn't see you, Paul.
Well, I was in the office with the other guys. There you go. You didn't get the memo.
No, I didn't. It wasn't reversed.
There you go. So for once, Carl, you missed the boat.
Okay.
But of course, we're here to talk about the present and the past, and a guy who knows everything about what's happened in football over the years, that can celebrate it more than anyone else, who was also a national goalkeeper like myself. Of course, I was before him, before his time. He was after me. It's Mr. Kenrick Grant, who was the past president. Kenrick, good evening. Tell us a bit about some of the things that has happened in the past in football in the BVI.
Yeah, well, I'm all happy to see how football has progressed over the 40 years of its in terms of organized football, because I'm sure football was played here long before 1974. But I think in 1974, where we, first had an organized structure in terms of an association. So there's been a lot of ups and downs, but it's good to see, there's a lot of people involved in the administration of football who stuck with it, and now we are seeing, in terms of the fruits of that labor in relation to youth football development. And that is something that we've always had a big problem with getting it off the ground. but now it's consistent, and we're seeing national teams of nationals at different levels in terms of under 14s, under 12s, under 15s, under 20, and that's something that we're proud about. And hopefully, in the near future, like in maybe a year or two, we should see the at least at the youth level, we should see more progress in terms of our style of play and maybe even in the results. So, all in all, for 40 years, I think it's been slow, but the foundation is there, the structure is there, and I think that we well on our way to, being maybe a force to reckon with in the Caribbean soon.
Speaking of structure, you've been around, as you're saying, since the early 70s yourself. From your recollection, are there any youngsters now who are playing whose parents played, not even necessarily in a national team, but who played football, who kids are now playing? Can you think of any off the top of your head? I'm kind of throwing it out here.
Yeah, well, I can't really.
Don't say Andy Bickerton. I know exactly what you think. Yeah, Andy's grandkids are playing outside of
it's easy to identify, with the president and because,
absolutely.
But yeah, there are for second, third generation of
kids. Absolutely.
But one of the problems that we have in the BVI is because we're so transient. People move a lot. When they, especially for educational purposes, when the children reach a certain age, a lot of them move away. But what we're trying to do at the administration level is keep whether a database of the players, and also keep in touch with them when they go overseas for furthering their education. So in that way, we could always, like any other country, we have foreign-based players and we have local-based players.
Certainly, that certainly would make a difference. Ms. Bickerton, I see you dying to get in there.
Well, I was going to say we do have parents have been playing. We have, like Cinti was a soccer player, and now we have her kids that played. We also have her daughter Lala, she is actually the captain of our under 15. We have Gertrude, of course, her daughter came through.
And Foy from Virgin Gorda, the Foy daughters.
There you go.
Yes.
So we do have a few people. I'm sure there's a few
more,
others.
as we said. Yep.
Those are good ones.
Can I get a word in there, Paul?
Do you have to? I thought this was my show.
My question to you guys is over the years that you got from administration level and from what you guys have seen, what are the opportunities for youngsters who have passed through the system for tertiary education? Any?
Oh, yes, there's lots of opportunities. I mean,
have we had the opportunity of sending any away that you
we have. One of our first footballer to have left the BVI to go away on a scholarship, not a full scholarship, which is a half scholarship, was actually my very own daughter, Amanda Emanuel. She went to a college in Syracuse, New York, and came back with an associate degree in IT.
Excellent.
Since then, we've had two girls. We have one girl presently at college on a full scholarship for the FA. We've had one, Shireen Flack's daughter, that's just come back home. We've had 4 boys that was at college. They've now transferred to 4-year colleges. So there is progress. There's opportunities out there. And I think, as we go forward, one of the things we'd like to do, especially with this 40th, we've chosen ambassadors. We've chosen 12 ambassadors, young ambassadors, to be part of this 40th. And the idea is to work closer with them, for them to understand what is out there in the life of football. That there is education, there's opportunity, there's work, there's employment. There's a lot of things there, as long as they understand and pay attention, and they will see what else is there available.
So what do you guys have up and coming based on what I see you have in front of you? I know last week we heard a lot. You guys, I guess, had to reiterate some of the stuff. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, well, with the month of celebration, recognition, and highlights of all the different aspects of football that we've been able to develop. We try to focus on different areas. This week we focused on youth, and now we're doing women.
Oh, last week.
Yeah. So, and as you may know, during sometime early this week, they started a referee coaching referees. Yeah,
Yes,
training coach,
which my
yeah.
colleague and myself were supposed to be attending. I attended the track part, he attended the book part.
Yes, of course, obviously.
And
You're the track guy, I'm the book guy.
well, apparently the information that came through came half and half. So he got one half and I got the other half. So hopefully by next Wednesday we'll both get it together.
There you
And
go.
we'll be there. But was he there? I know he likes to say stuff like that. Was he?
Of course I was there,
I'm
Carl.
hoping yes.
But we'll see when it comes to graduation.
Yeah, there you go. Well, the 10th time.
Yes.
Well, maybe I should just, as a former referee myself, it's good if we could get, you don't have to be an active footballer. I mean, as a matter of fact, you don't have to be playing football to actually be a good referee. It's basically, learning how to manage people, basically, and, learning the rules. And I would encourage anybody out there who want, especially if they're physically active, and they may like football, whether it may be just looking at football on television. If you feel like you want to get involved, you could become a referee. And I'm sure the FA has enough trained personnel right now that could, teach you how to be a good referee.
We're still welcoming
Yeah, so
people. So it's
Sure.
4 weeks.
anybody who out there who are interested in being part of the game, and probably they don't know anything about football, but or they don't know where they could fit in. Refereeing might be a good area.
Let's say a young man is watching Arsenal play or Everton, and he's watching a referee, and he thinks to himself, "Boy, I'd like to do that one day." What are the chances of him going through the rankings from refereeing here locally to doing a regional stint to going on to an international? How does that work?
Well, I mean, I would encourage any young person, if because refereeing by itself, it's you could earn a good living from big, once you especially if you become a FIFA qualified referee. There's there's earnings you could get from it, travel, if you speak to anybody who's been a FIFA referee and who've had the experience of traveling for football for FIFA, they'll tell you that you get A1 first class treatment, right? And you're paid from the time you step out of your door to the time you step back in. So it's, and then apart from the earnings, the travel, you learn how to manage people.
I think what Paul is asking, how do you get to that level?
Oh, well, the younger you are, if you start out at a young age, it's better. Because it's experience. The more you do it, hopefully is the better you become.
Right.
You learn from your mistakes, and if you have, if you go through a structured training program, like you have referee assessors, referee coaches, and so on, who are actually helping you, it's even much better, because then once you apply yourself and you focus, then you could. It doesn't matter where you're from. You could be from Turtle, and you could be, on the FIFA referee panel refereeing in the World Cup.
So at what age would you recommend somebody who's interested in that area to?
Well,
You said at a young age, so what age are you thinking?
When it comes to refereeing, because there's different levels of football. You have youth football, you have women football, and so on. And when you look at those, whether it be a World Cup in terms of Youth World Cup, what FIFA try to do is that they will encourage, like for the Youth World Cup, they will look for young referees and young assistant referees to be part of that. Women World Cup, they will try to get all the women, the top women referees involved with that. So what I'm saying is, like, at a young age, you could start off with youth football,
Work your way up.
and then you could work your way up.
Okay.
And again, the more you do it, it's the in terms of experience you have, it's the better you become.
Okay, we are here again. If you're just watching, with two members of the 40th anniversary committee for the BVI Football Association, obviously celebrating their 40th year, Mrs. Arlette Bickerton, and past president Mr. Kenrick Grant. We're going to take a pause for a cause. When we come back, more about football. We can probably hear a bit more about those 12 ambassadors that Mrs. Bickerton was talking about. Take a stay. Right back after a word from
Sports Desk is sponsored by Lime, the better, faster 4G network.
Welcome back, folks. If you're just joining us, we're on the Sports Desk this evening. Like I said, we're talking football right now, and we have a new addition to the studios. But before we go ahead and introduce our new person, I just want to let you guys know that the numbers to call on the screen: 541-7541. If you want to send us a text, it's the same number. Let us know any questions you want to ask the panel about football, soccer, whatever you want to call it. They're here to answer. We have in studios with us the PRO for the 40th anniversary, Miss Arlette Bickerton. And Paul, we have with us a new face.
Yes, we do. Miss Charlene Pond, who just joined us. She's on the ladies' committee. Good evening, Miss Pond.
Good evening.
Great to have you here. So tell us a bit about the ladies' committee.
Well, the ladies' committee is all about women. Yes, no men. It's the committee that plans all the events for the women, including leagues and activities.
I just got to ask you this question. He says for all ladies. That means Carl can't attend then?
No.
Ah, well, wow. You guys should do really well then. Go right ahead.
It's a chance for the women to dominate something.
There you go.
Are you pretending speaking to Paul when you said that, right? Because
It's
I've been silent from time you got here. I haven't said anything.
very directed to you.
Directed out at us,
Right
yes.
this way.
So, yes, go ahead. You were saying, Charlie.
The women committee plans all the activities for women, the leagues, getting more women involved, and it's the committee that is trying to get more women in the BVI and in the region involved in football, because right now we know that the men are mostly involved.
Right. So when you say involved, be a bit more specific. From what aspects are you really looking at ladies being involved in football? I know you can say all aspects, but break it down for me a bit.
Playing the game, especially.
Okay, so you're really focusing on female players. That's where your focus is at. So you're not that you don't want them, but you're not at this point really focusing on female referees and that kind of stuff. Or is that, I guess that's more like Arlette's sort of, that'd be more your thing, Arlette? Or no?
I wouldn't say that, but I'd say generally there's a heavy focus being put on female
recruitment.
Female involvement in soccer on the whole. So they're looking at referees, coaches, because one of the things that was noticed for our under-15 team, we were the only team that was fully female.
Is that so?
When we went to Cayman Island, we had no males on, and that was brought up.
And hold on, you said, when you make a statement like that, is male allowed to play on
No, she means on the whole.
From a lady's point of view.
Okay.
From a lady's point of view. So if you have a female team,
you had me there.
I would like to see a female physio, a female medic, a female, maybe female referees.
Right. That's good.
And then we know we are on the right track and we're balancing and we could compete equally.
I think you guys should maintain that. I think that's a very good policy.
Now, Ms. Pond, you mentioned female involvement. What area, what age bracket are you looking at when you say? Because I understand that you're under 15 or well full. Are you talking like?
All ages, all ages. Starting from the under sevens, the youth, the grassroots, going straight up to the seniors. All are invited, all are welcome to play. There'll be ages category for each, there'll be leagues for each. Right now the grassroots are dominating. There are so many females more in the grassroots than in the older sections.
Right.
Do we have any senior leagues, senior women playing?
Well, as of this year, well, it was not playing for a while, but as this year, right now, I'm counting 30.
30?
30 girls
Wow,
that
wow.
just came
You
up.
finally put on that skirt, isn't it?
Well, you didn't say, oh, she didn't say over 30. She said 30 persons.
Okay.
30,
Wow.
Oh, so you're over
people
30.
we are playing,
I'm playing.
30,
Okay.
30, and this is 30 regular. This is not 30 that come on and go. This is
Right.
30.
So we can expect a league this year with seniors. That's what you're
Yes.
saying.
Well, there was a female league last year, and their female national team either drew or beat the USVI last year. Female national. I was there for the game. And in fact, the young lady who scored a goal broke her hand in the process.
But I think that was more of young and old mix, isn't it?
Yeah, but it was a female national. It was a women's female national team. The
And
point.
at what age do you qualify to play in the female and the seniors? In the seniors, can
Well-
a junior step into the senior league?
There are some under 15s that are capable of playing with seniors.
But
Besides
is
the
it allowed if you're
age.
traveling for national?
No, it's not allowed. No.
So that's what I'm trying to find out. What is the age bracket for? What is the cutoff age for seniors going and making a senior team?
20.
Okay, so you have to be 20 and above. Okay,
You should be,
So
you
Paul,
should
you
be.
can't. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
Well,
I'm sorry.
okay, thank you, Carl.
Yes.
What I would say is in the question that Carl asked, because it was a fairly tough question, so I'm going to help out here. In that, in generally speaking, you would find that the national players will be 20 and over. But in our case, where we're still a developing nation with a lot of youngsters in there, we have a couple very talented youngsters like Shamika Foy and a couple others who play at a very well at a higher level. And those individuals you would find would be not only playing on the senior national team, but would also be one of those who are actually play a substantial part with the team. So yes, generally speaking, Carl, correct. I mean, I'm just helping out here because I was involved a bit at that level, so I know. And I've watched the senior national team play quite a few times.
My question to you is, sir,
Please.
are you a part of the Bvifa Football Association?
I'm a part of all of the teams. I mean, I'm in youth affairs and sports, sir.
Oh, I'm glad.
So
Folks,
from
I'm
an
glad that he
administrative-
mentioned that because
From
after
an
the
administrative
football-
point of view, I am
after the
involved.
Football Association leaves, we have a discussion of that nature. So
There you go.
You'll be hearing about
Wow,
that.
can't wait.
I can't wait. I can't
Anyway,
wait.
let's go back to Ms. Pond. And Ms.
A month of events.
Mrs. Bickerton, yes, please. Back to you.
You wanted to talk a little bit about something? Well, like I said, we started with our referee certification course last night, which was the first night. That's going to run for 4 weeks. So we're still asking people, if you're interested, please give us a call at the AFA.
The number? You know the number?
The number is 494-5655.
Okay.
If you give us a call, please join us. We also have next week, we're going to be continuing our visits to the schools because the school reopen next week. Because as you know, Paul, on the 13th, we have our award ceremony to climax our 40th. And we have some people visiting. So the coaches will be going to the school to let the kids know because we'll be looking at awarding the kids for the tournament that's just gone. We have 12 clubs. They would be awarded as well. We talk about the ambassadors. They would be recognized as well at that evening. One of the things we're doing for the 40th is on Friday the 12th of September, we're going to have an open house at the BVI football office from 12 until 6. And we're hoping that the community will come out and have a look at the past and the future of the BVI, hopefully in photos.
Well, I'm going to help you out there because actually at 3:30 on the 12th, there's a Caribbean Wellness Day walk which lasts about 30 minutes maximum. It's just for people from in the workplace to get fit. Okay. So they can actually leave from there because it's going to be at the bandstand and go straight across to the BVI Football Association, which is less than a 5-minute walk. So I'm encouraging all those and I will promote it on the day, who are going to be taking part in a walk, and we had over 200 people last year. Oh, wow. So we'll encourage, and we understand the numbers have doubled this year. Okay. So all those persons you can leave straight from the walk, go straight across the BVI Football Association, and have a look at some of the things that are past and the future and where they're trying to get to. Also, I'm just going to jump and sneak a bit here because you did mention that you're going to be having an award ceremony, and I was fortunate enough to be invited to the Cayman Islands when they had the summit there, and I met Jeffrey Webb when I was there, and I've got to say what a special person Jeffrey Webb is, and he has taken football to the next level. Jeffrey's in charge of the region, the whole CONCACAF region, not just of the Caymans, and he has done a tremendous job. And you know, if we just learn from what he's doing and take it to that next level, we're going to go places. Let me just also say, this is important, for the part of the 40th anniversary, there is a competition for the men's national team. And we're asking you, the public, to give it a nickname. You can either, there are forms at the Youth Affairs and Sports at my office, and there are also forms at the Football Association headquarters. So please, you know, do come in or send us an email, dis@gov.vg, or to the Bvifa Football Association email address. I'm not too sure, I think it's bvifa
At
surfbvi.com. And you can certainly take part and naming the BVI national team. So you've got the Reggae Boys, the Soca Warriors, you've got the Bulldogs, and now we have the BVI Huffers, whatever, whatever they are. Back to you, Alice.
Yes, and one of the things we're asking for on that day, we're going to have sign-up sheets in the office on the open house day. And, you know, we're always looking for, we have a lot of parents that's involved in especially the young children playing football. And some of them would like to learn and help. So we're having forms that you could sign up and tell us what sort of, do you want to just be a soccer mom? Do you want to come out and find out more about coaching? Do you want to understand what football is all about so you could help your child? So that is another way you could just come to see us and let us know where you want to help us in our progress. As you know, Paul, we do have a stadium being built, so we need to get as many people as we can and have them qualified so they could work with our youths in the BVI.
And I would like to add to what you said, because when I was an ex-officio of the West Indies board, one of the things that we focused on were, you mentioned being a soccer mom, or cricket mom, soccer mom, the same thing. They are an integral part, because it's the mothers who bring the kids out. So not just a soccer mom, but a soccer mom. They're the ones that get the wheels turning. So
that's true.
You want as many of those as you can.
And most of our parents, they don't just drop off their kids, they stay with them.
There you go.
And you know, it's just not moms, but there's soccer dads as well. And this year I've seen a lot more fathers get involved, especially if they have girls playing football. It's unbelievable how the fathers stand on the sideline and talk to the girls. So for me, that was very, very important.
Before you start,
Ages 5 to 6. Ages 5 to 6. Because a good friend of mine has a son who's around that age. You know, and you said soccer dads. You know, Carl, Daphne, you got a son around that age?
No, I don't, Paul.
No? How old is your son, Carl?
He's older than that age.
Oh, is he 7? Oh, he's 7. So has he been played?
My son plays soccer, in case you didn't know.
I was just checking.
He plays for the England team.
Are you one of...
That's good.
Excellent.
He plays for the England team.
Brilliant, brilliant.
Yes.
So are you one of those who...
But I do have a daughter. I'm thinking I'm signing out.
Well,
She's
just
around that age.
respond, you'll have to investigate.
As she was saying that, I'm normally there when I see the games going on, and I see how aggressive the parents are when the kids are playing. I mean, I'm surprised sometimes they don't even get into squalls, you know, because I mean, they're more into the game than the kids.
Oh yeah,
well, that's good to see.
They have very good support, and that's very, very good. It's one of the things we've felt really good about, just the kind of support of the parents that come out and actually watch the kids. That's really good.
But Paul has a son, I think it's around that age, so...
I just bought him some football gloves.
Okay.
And shin guards.
Okay,
wow.
so has he signed, you bought them? Has he signed up?
Well, they haven't, school hasn't opened yet, so he can't. But he will next week.
Yes, we will.
When the forms are out.
Okay, now, I hate to rain on your parade.
Rain at 10 o'clock, yeah.
Yes, sir. I want to
Rain on your parade, that's a new one.
I want to give you guys a last opportunity, last words on what you guys have to offer this week or this weekend.
This weekend.
Well, we have the games. The under 15 females are going to be playing U.S. Virgin Islands, and the under 14 boys are going to be playing a team from the U.S. Virgin Islands as well. This is this Saturday.
What time?
This Saturday. It starts at 10.
Under 14?
At
yes.
the AO Shirley
Under
Farm?
15 males.
Under 15
Under
males.
15 females, sorry.
Under 14
And
boys.
under 14, yes.
On the 15 females and on the 14 boys. And that's at the venue?
AO Shirley.
And that's this weekend.
Yes.
Okay.
Saturday.
Okay.
Anything else?
From 10 until
On the
2.
14th is the game against the U.S. Virgin Islands seniors. This is the revenge game.
Oh.
I've heard straight from them that they're coming back for revenge
They're coming.
because the BVI won the last time.
That was the
The BVI won against
And that's the
US
national
Virgin
team?
Islands.
USPI girls?
Girls.
Yes, that's the game I'm
You
referring
remember
to.
that
Yes,
game, right?
absolutely.
Yes,
That's
yes.
the female, I mean,
Yeah.
Yes, we
The senior girls.
Yes, they won that game. I saw that game live. In fact, we have that game on tape.
Okay.
We will show some of that next week.
Okay,
That'd be good.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Ladies?
So that's
And-
next
and-
week on the
and-
14th.
Mrs. Bickerton, final
Anything
words
else?
from you?
Well, I just want everybody to help us celebrate this milestone. It did not come easily, but as we continue, and with the continued support of you guys, Paul and Carl, and the rest of the community, we're hoping that our 40th will be great, and we look forward to a good 2 weeks coming up.
Good.
Of activities. So somebody will talk about the following 2 weeks of activities,
Yes.
hopefully next week.
Well, Mrs. Bickerton and Miss Pond, I'd like to thank you guys for coming through. Again, you know, our stage is yours. Anytime you guys have information you want us to know, please don't just send it to Paul. You can direct it to me also. Because I think we have a miscommunication when it comes to information.
And Carl has promised to check his email. Isn't that amazing?
No, on that note, guys, we're going to take a break and we'll be right back with a word from our sponsors.
Thank you.
Sports Desk is sponsored by Lime, the better, faster 4G network.
Welcome back, folks. If you just joined us in the studios before, we had the folks from the 40th anniversary from the Bvifa Football Association, Mrs. Bickerton and Miss Pond. They just left us. And now in the studios, we have a discussion that I wanted to bring up to my good fellow man right here, who's in the hot seat right now. He's in charge of sports at Youth Affairs. So, Paul, here's my question to you. I realize that we have a breakdown in sports when it comes to primary sports. We all covered. When it comes to secondary sports, we all covered. But when it comes to tertiary sports, we have a gap in between. And then folks wonder why we don't do as good as we are. What are your sentiments on that?
I wasn't aware that there was a breakdown. I think
It's a gap, I said. A gap.
Well, you use the word breakdown. I'm quoting from you.
Okay, breakdown gap.
Or a breakdown gap.
Yes.
It's a little confusing.
What's your sentiment?
A little confusing, a breakdown gap.
Okay, how do you view it?
Well, I don't see it as being a breakdown, first of all, as you so defensively said you didn't say. A gap, I think, in all honesty, having spoken to the individuals at the HLSCC, I've been under the impression that they're very much aware of that and are trying to develop it. As you and I and Carl know, that once the youngsters leave the BVI High School, which is now the Elmo Stout High School, and those who don't move on to higher education in the United States or wherever, these days they are in Jamaica or wherever, then it means that it's really down to us here to have the responsibility to help to develop those youngsters who want to continue their education here locally and at the same time want to continue their
Excuse me,
sporting
Paul.
endeavors.
I'm not asking for political speech. I'm asking you, I think I made it perfectly clear. It's a straight question.
I thought it was a straight answer.
No, you're giving me a political speech right now. We're not into politics. There is a breakdown,
Right.
or there is a gap between
Right.
secondary and tertiary athletics. I'm just
Oh,
asking you.
athletics.
Yes, I'm asking you your view on it. How do you see it? Do you see the same thing that I'm seeing, or do you know of something that I don't?
Well, I don't.
Because of course you know that HLSCC College doesn't. They don't have any athletics program that's going on in there currently. And how do you view that?
Well, I just think that we are developing territory, Carl. I think that's one of the things that we have to, one of the stages that we're at, where that has to be developed. I think the college is aware of it, and I think that's the way to move forward. I don't have a problem with it. I think certainly it's something that we have to long-term develop and move into.
So are you saying you don't have a problem with athletics not being a part of a community college? Is that what you just said, Paul?
Absolutely not. I said it's a process of us getting to that level.
Absolutely not what?
That this is a process that we have to get to.
So you said it's a problem or it's not a problem?
It's
You don't see it as a problem, or you see it doesn't bother you?
I wouldn't use the word problem. I think
I'm just trying to
problem is a
record what you
little,
said so I can.
I said I think it's a process that we have to get to.
I think I may have to check in with the doctor because I think my ears are not really hearing it.
yeah, I think you're checking out.
Because I could have sworn I heard you said it's not a problem. But anyway,
it's a process. I said.
My thing is, Paul. I think that there's a lot of concern. Other people have been concerned about athletics being a part of a program in the college. I don't know. I haven't spoken to any of the pros that may be in the college system, but I mean, the college has been in existence now for a while, and I know there are opportunities for college students in athletics in just about every area. My problem is, like I said, there's no programs that's offered in a HLSCC program, and I know there's a lot of athletic kids who comes out of the high school with all this talent, and when they go to school, you know, all books and no play.
One of the things that obviously the college has to be careful of is not becoming too secular, because the college as a college, as you'd understand, Carl, can't just focus on track and field alone.
No, I'm not talking track and field. I'm talking athletics, which covers the whole.
You mean the whole full athletics program includes basketball,
of
volleyball?
Course, everything. A program.
Okay, I got you.
I'm
You
not
mean the
talking
athletics
about
program?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, okay, all right, I got you. Well, certainly.
Because we have a lot of kids in the different areas. We just had soccer, football folks here, and there are a lot of kids that came out of the system.
Well, Carl, I think our territory is evolving, and I know you don't like political answers, but I'm going to give you one. Our territory is evolving.
Here we go again.
We are developing territory, and these are one of the things that we now have to begin to look at as the territory grows and develops. We have to develop athletic programs at the primary school level, at the high school level.
I'm getting tired of this conversation with Paul right now. Okay, since it's we're according to you, political, we're going now, a developing country.
Yes.
What is your department of youth affairs doing as far as the development goes?
Well, as far as the development goes, I think our responsibility has to be working with the different associations with where they're at. Working with the schools. I don't know if you're aware, but the Youth Affairs and Sports is not in charge of the PE teachers. It's the Ministry of Education.
And why is that?
Well,
if you're a Department of Youth Affairs, Sports, shouldn't you be in charge of all the different PE teachers and programs?
You're going to a different story now.
No, is this political? Are we still political?
Well, that's a political question you just asked me. That's the question you asked me. So in response to your question, you asked me why is that? So I'm saying to you, I specifically can't answer. My response to you why I made that statement is because I can't specifically say why that is. But certainly I would say that's something that we need to look at and needs to be developed on primary school level, high school level, and the college level.
But let me ask you a question. How many people do you have in the sports department of your area? Youth Affairs and Sports.
How many people?
Yes, do you have working in the sports area? The development of sports area. Is it just you?
No. There's a staff. I think there's about 4 or 5 of us presently who are.
And the 4 or 5 of you guys are responsible for all the community sports. Yes.
I wouldn't say we're just not.
But more than likely, what is your department responsible for?
Well, we're Youth Affairs and Sports. We're in charge of generally overseeing the different associations and making sure things are running smoothly. I
like that answer.
Thank you.
And is that working in
I don't know. We're going to run in a circle, Carl. I mean, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure what we're discussing here. But Carl, let me quickly say, because as we have the air, we're nearly out of time. Let me just quickly say.
No, we're not out of time yet. I know. If you guys want to join in the conversation, our numbers are still on the screen.
Oh, the numbers are. We are calling now. Carl wants to call it.
I heard you mention something a while ago about primary, secondary, and tertiary. Yes, hopefully. But I'm going to say this. I think where we fail, or where we're neglecting, is the kindergarten areas. Remember now, just as
where we need to improve, maybe, but
because I don't think the kindergarten schools or the preschools have any such programs for their kids, and I think That's an area we need to focus on if we thinking long term, according to you, if we thinking
Right.
development.
But Carl,
Because remember, those are the sponge years.
what can you? Yeah, but what are you expecting to happen at kindergarten level?
Okay, here's
More than what's happening
here's-
now.
Oh, there's something that's happening now.
I would hope so. They
That's
have
a good.
they have
That's a good
sports.
answer. Hope is a good
my
answer.
grandson is a kindergarten and they have sports day and
hope,
different things like that.
Hope is a good answer. Martin Luther King had a hope and a dream, so like hope is a good answer.
Yes.
But here's what I want to project to you. Like I said, I've been traveling a lot and I've been liaison with a lot of different countries and different people in the administration of the
Right.
sports. And what I've gathered is that something of a kindergarten games, which I announced.
Kindergarten games.
Kindergarten games, yes.
And
Which I announced.
right.
It's between kids between the years of age 3 to age 7.
And what do they do?
We're gonna have a games for them.
What do they do
It's-
though at the
it's-
game?
It's basically working on the different mechanics. It's crawling, running, all kind of different stuff, all kind of obstacle
But that's not
courses
hard
and
to
stuff.
do. It doesn't
That's
matter
what I'm
putting the
saying.
program
That's what I'm saying.
together.
So it involves the parents. So it's just not the kids alone, because kids at that age, they need encouragement from the parents. So it's going to involve the parents. And this is something that I've been planning for a long time now, and I think I'm trying to bring it to fruition sometime early next year. So I'm just throwing it out to you because speaking to the folks in Jamaica, and I'm using Jamaica because they're the sprint factory, so to speak. One of their biggest games is the kindergarten games. It's not really called the kindergarten games, but they said it's one of their biggest games where the kids of that age and the parents come together, and it's one of the most supported games that they have. And,
Well,
and I think it's something that we need to look into.
the Ray O'Neill Games, as you know, which was here a few years ago, is something which I think we need to revisit.
Yeah, but that's
which I
that,
think-
that,
it's a little older, I know. But
Yeah, it's a little older.
yeah.
So we go from that into that.
Yeah, correct. Which
Right.
has to be revisited. The kindergarten games is really just it's going to be something which just gets the kids using all their different skills and
There
using
you
all their
go.
different motors.
There you
But
go.
that again is something which was introduced here a few years ago. Stanley Goodrich, if you've spoken to Stanley could actually give you the details on that. And that's something which we're actually trying to revisit as well. And they were actually gear that was sent to every single school for them to use, basic things, just walking over hurdles and playing different games.
And again, the gears that you're talking about
Yes.
are the same Ray O'Neill age group gears. They don't work with the younger ones.
Right. Well,
that
yeah.
age-
Well, I don't think
The reason I said
yeah.
that because when we look at when we start to group our kids, we group them from under 9 and up.
Right.
So the kids that are from like 4, 5, 6, 7, who may have talent, we don't really get a chance to see them. I know we're in a time in a club.
Yeah. You used the word before.
Yes,
Remember the word?
rain on your parade.
Yes. I don't want to rain on your parade, Carl.
Yes, go
But
ahead.
we're all the time.
Yes, but it's something I think that we need to have a discussion on again, and I'll hopefully
Yes.
I'll get a chance to speak to some of the folks on the tertiary
Yeah.
level, and hopefully I could have you back with some more information on just not the developing country, so to speak, political
Right.
talk.
Could I just say in closing that both Apollo Sky and Majestic Express ran very well in St. Croix last week. The 5 furlong sprint record was broken, I believe it was by Apollo Sky.
Yes.
And this weekend we can expect Trading Secrets, of course Alex Lake Stable, and Really Uptown, as far from what I've heard, to be in St. Thomas competing this weekend. So we've had a tremendous performance last weekend in St. Croix by the Virgin Islands, and this weekend we're expecting none different from the true Virgin Islanders in St. Thomas. So if you plan to be over there, I would go. I think we're going to do really well. Carl?
I just want to say to for the folks again, the 40+ league games is going to be starting in the first week of October. So if you guys are interested in netball, the women for netball, men for basketball, and hopefully softball we get on board this time, please check in with me, get a roster so I can get you guys signed up early. So because we want to start early, we want to finish early. 40+ game, basketball, netball, and softball.
So until next week,
Good
good sports.
sports.
Yeah.
Sports Desk is sponsored by Lime, the better, faster 4G network.